My name is Pule Molebatsi, back again this week to report on positive and uplifting news. Thank you for tuning into Stories Untold. Our quest to bring new untold stories of ordinary Africans with extraordinary tales has brought me to this spot west of Johannesburg, where Deejay Palesa Manaleng trains for most of her paracycling competitions. She has pushed beyond any limitation that you can think of to make a name for herself as a paracycling champion. Let's have a look.
Deejay Palesa Manaleng was born in Limpopo, Seshego, and spent a good time of her childhood with her grandparents before making her big move to Witbank to stay with her parents and siblings. Like most kids growing up in a township, she liked playing and participating in extramural activities.
When I went to school called St. Thomas Aquinas. So when I got there, they introduced me to proper sports, which was swimming from the age of 6. With netball, which I did not like, tennis, and hockey. And when I was at home, Bekbapala soccer starting, but I was doing that also from Saltwashio. So I was playing soccer, street soccer with the guys, would get into fights because boys didn't want the girl to be better than them. So I was doing that. And as I grew up, as I approached, let's say 12, 13, my English teacher was like, you know what? You've got such a strong personality and you've got such a temper problem. How about you play hockey and become a goalkeeper? So because we need someone who's going to be a goalkeeper. And we promise you'll wear pants. Because I didn't like because conference you have to wear these skirts, that come up underneath the knee. It was restricting. So I played hockey. That's how I started playing hockey. And then by the time I was 13, I was in the first team at school. So I was going from school to hockey practice to soccer practice. And then later on, I picked up weightlifting from school, from hockey to soccer to weightlifting. And then go home. You know, I added the weightlifting because I didn't want to cook karaya.
She knew from an early age that whatever path life led her to, sports had to be a part of it.
Oh yes, I mean, when I was young, when I started playing in the soccer team, in Single Desiree Elise, I remember at that time when we were playing soccer, the soccer teams, the clubs were mixed masai. It wasn't the Cecil leagues, but this year, but Sanlam, Vodacom, Coca-Cola. So you'd get to see with Desiree, Posha, and you wanted to play for Banyana. But also I wanted to represent South Africa in hockey. So I was, I wanted to do both of them. So I wanted to be a national goalkeeper and I wanted to be a national striker in soccer.
Right after her matric, she pursued her tertiary studies in journalism. This, however, had to put her everyday sporting activities to a bit of a halt.
I got to TUT. Unfortunately, I was based in Soshanguve. And at that time, they didn't have hockey kwa Soshanguve. And there wasn't transport to take us from Soshanguve to Pretoria town to go train. That wasn't organized for us. And we didn't, obviously, you're away from home. So I'd taken my hockey stick to TUT, but I never got to use it. And this soccer wasn't soccer as it is now for TUT, as the ladies are leading. That's not. So it spent the time at the stadium doing other things that we shouldn't be doing. And then I started weightlifting again. In Soshanguve, there's like opposite us, there's taverns. And behind the taverns, there's a gym. So I'd go to the gym and weightlifting.
Graduating at TUT with a degree in journalism, she now pursued her newfound passion of telling compelling stories.
I got my first internship at the Citizen newspaper. So I started working there as a sub-intern. 4 months in, I became a sub-editor. They gave me a permanent job. That also, they retrenched me. So I learned a lot of lessons. I went from intern to a permanent to being retrenched. Yeah, that was a hard experience. When you're young and you're getting retrenched, you're like, yo, that's the end of my life. That's the end of the world. And I moved from there, and I had an option of sitting around and doing nothing, trying to find a job, or doing another internship. So I joined the Wits Justice Project, which is whole investigative journalism, where I got to work with prisoners, went into prisons. So the Justice Project is about, what do you call it again? So people who wrongful arrests. So people who've been arrested, but they've been arrested for not doing anything. Like Botsama is starting, there was robbery down the road and you happen to be walking down the street and they arrest you because someone was wearing the same t-shirt as you committed the robbery. So we had cases like that. So I spent weekends in prisons and courtrooms, and we'd investigate, we'd look through court scripts and dockets. It was a lot of work. But my favorite part to be honest, was spending time with the prisoners. The stories they tell, where they come from, who they are, you know, why they did what they did. You'd find someone who know because who left me. I'm like, when did your mother leave you? When I was 3. I'm like, Ebo. So when you were 3-year-old, your mother left you, so every other woman must be punished. You know, so you get to see how people are, the psychological. I actually studied psychology. You know, so I loved that.
Eventually, DJ struck a balance between her career and her passion for sports. Until on one fateful day when her entire life came crashing down.
Went cycling, went down a steep road, Mammoth. Brakes of my bicycle failed, hit a pavement, flew into a palisade wall, dislocated my spine, broke 2 ribs, punctured a lung, fractured a shoulder, head injury. I actually almost lost my eye because the scar comes all the way to just by my eye here. I was in hospital for about 4 months. Came out, they said, hey, not gonna walk again.
Welcome back to the show. Today we bring you the story of South Africa's rare talent, Deejay Palesa Manaleng, whose unbreakable spirit has earned her a success which put her on the Mail and Guardian's top 200 of the youth of 2019.
Sports fanatic, strong character, and stubborn. The list can go on and on when describing the devoted journalist and all-rounder sports enthusiast. It's 5 years later into her cycling accident, and DJ continues with the same strength or even more, exercising her willpower.
When he first told me, because what he started doing after the operation, he was like to me, wiggle your toes. I wiggled my toes. Wiggle your toes. I'm touching you. Can you feel this? I'll be like, no, you're not pressing hard enough. So obviously I can't feel you. And then after about 2 weeks, he's like, actually, you know what? We've looked at your x-rays, we've looked at everything. You're a complete paraplegic. You have no feeling, you have no movement. So when I thought I was wiggling my toes, I wasn't actually wiggling my toes. Because in your head, your head is still saying all those sensations you felt for 27 years. You still think you can feel them. So, and I was like to him, no, I'm gonna walk. I don't know what is going on about.
When she woke up in hospital, the quickest emotion to jump into was denial, trying to resist her body strength with her mind power, only to understand the power of reality was awaiting her.
But when it hit me, and they like to give us water to drink. So, hospital, always drink water. And because also the accident affected my bladder, so you need to drink water to keep it functioning. So then I drank my water and the bottle fell. And immediately, when something falls, you want to get up and pick it up. It's a reflex. You don't even need to think about it. But I couldn't get up at all. I couldn't lift up off the bed. And I started crying because I realized, actually, I can't move. Nozuku came in and she found me crying. And immediately she thought maybe the nurses did something to me. Give me toss. It was like, and I just cried. And then she climbed onto the bed and she held me and she's like, Teacher, what's wrong? I'm like, I'll never walk again. What did I do? Why me? Why am I the one who may never walk again? What did I do to deserve this? And she just held me. And I just cried and the nurses would come and peep and see. And then after a while, once I've calmed down, she's like, DJ, but if not you, then who? Choose one person that you want to be disabled right now. And I couldn't pick one.
Gaining mental strength helped DJ with her recovery.
I told my parents while I was in Joburg, I'm not. And that was before I could sit. When I said to my mother, if I go home with you, I'll kill myself within the first week. Reason being, our parents feel so guilty when we become disabled, they want to take up everything. I could just visualize myself, bankuka, bankisha kantle, babe blanket blue and white. I hate that blanket, blue and white under a tree, and visitors coming in and saying, oh, Shamas, you could have been something, but Jalong Tamanga wheelchair. Oh, all that money setting here to private school. Black people. I was just like, no. I'll figure it out for myself in Joburg. And the first 3 days that I was on my own, I fell on the first day, spent 3 days, 3 nights on the floor, unable to do anything for myself. On the 4th day, I asked for help because I was feeling sick then. If I didn't feel sick, then I wouldn't have asked for help, knowing myself.
Her friend Lerato Tumiseni says DJ has not changed. The only difference is that DJ now uses a wheelchair to move around.
DJ is still DJ, still a go-getter, still has a large spirit. But of course, after the accident, to see her not even have to come out of it, but just to continue and adapt so easily when we were all more traumatized and more shocked. But for her to then be that strong person, I would say then it was like quite something special to watch, you know, her standing tall and really continuing being the strong person that she's always been.
Irrespective of the challenges that she has seen DJ go through, she says that it's only made her to be a more cognizant friend.
It's not just her life that has changed because we still hang out together. It means that I also now need to be more conscious. Even when I look for a place to stay, I need to know because I've got a friend who's going to visit me. Me, myself, I don't know what tomorrow brings. So it has helped me to be a more open-minded person to really think not just for today, but also to the places that we go to. It has influenced me to be cognizant of the fact that we need to check, is it going to be accessible for her? Will she be able to access the bathroom? Will she be properly accommodated? So that's another way that I've been influenced. But also not to have fear, you know, to say that, you know, what we fear, because for all of us, you know, the thought of going through such an accident, saying you've broken your spine, is like, it's our nightmare. And for her to have lived that, it really inspires me. And I do draw a lot of strength, and I have deep respect for her.
Strong for herself, her family, and her friends, DJ was fully rehabilitated.
Once I started learning to sit again and to feed myself, because when you break your spine, it's like being born again. You're like a child again. So I had to learn how to bath myself and to feed myself. And the first time that I did everything like that, the first time I sat up, I cried because it hurt. And you've been lying so long that when you sit up, you become dizzy. You know, it's like when you've been sitting for too long, you try to stand up. When I tried to feed myself, spoon plastic, as heavy. That whole motion of the food to my mouth, the whole, when I had to go to the physios, they'd take me with the bed, because I was a Joburg General. And then that, you know, I'd be a Joburg General with the bed, and they'd try and make me do exercise, and I'd cry, you know. So it was a whole process. By the time I left Joburg Gen to go to Netk, where I went for proper rehab, I was a bit stronger emotionally, but I'd also have times that fall apart, like because also at Joburg Gen, I didn't know that I could still do sports.
Just when she thought her life in sports was over, her faith was quickly recovered.
So when I was at Netk and I was watching the 947, I remember I was in hospital, and they were cycling, and I wanted to do that race, and I saw them cycling. I fell apart and I cried, and they had to call in my doctor because they thought something was seriously wrong, because I was not the type to cry. I was always playing around. And the doctor's like, what's the problem? I'm like, I'm never ever going to be able to take part in sports again. She's like, no, man, darling, you can. And my doctor and my occupational therapist and they showed me pictures of paraplegics and quads, about Peter Dupuy, Ernest van Dijk, and all those people who were taking part in sports and representing South Africa, the different sporting codes. And so you see, you can actually take part in sports. That's when I knew that, you know what, I needed to get stronger fast because I wanted to compete.
DJ quickly figured out which sports she would focus on, going on with all its hills, valleys, and its open roads, riding fully back into her freedom.
Welcome back to the last leg of the show. Before we wrap up the show, though, we'd like to focus on Palesa's career highlights, specifically that biggest moment in her life competing at the Para-Cycling Championships.
Deejay Manaleng is a name that everyone knows simply because of her unwavering strength. Months after she discovered she was paralyzed, but she can continue with sport, she represented South Africa in 2 paracycling World Cups for both 2015 and 2016. In 2017, she was one of the 21 top writers in Africa shortlisted for the Miles Moreland Foundation. She also has gone on to cycle with Oko Global from Pretoria to Cape Town in raising awareness for disability and raising funds. She has thus far competed in 6 national championships as a paraplegic. Excited about her newfound track, DJ says she took each day like a brand new opportunity.
When I left Netcare, I started sending emails around to various institutions and clubs asking them about disability sports. Only to find that there aren't really clubs. The only place that said to me, yes, we've got disability sports is UJ. I was like, oh, okay. And I said to them, I wanted to do cycling. They said, no, not cycling. We've got running, wheelchair racing. I'm like, what is that? And I said to the lady, can I come see you? It was Henrietta Fairmark at that time. And she said, sure, come see me. That was like 2 days after Julius Petler. And I went to see her and she was like, you look fresh. I'm like, I just came out of hospital. And she's like, are you sure you don't want to take time to heal? And I was like, I wanna do sports, I want to do it now. So she showed me the track chair that you get in and you have to sit on your knees. And she tried to put me in and it hurt. And I was just like, no. And she's like to me, okay, this is the track chair. This is the one we've got. It's a prototype. I was like, okay. And she's like, we don't have coaches for either of the sports that you want to do, cycling or wheelchair racing. But if you can find someone to show you the basics, we'll give you the chair to train and we'll take you to competitions. I mean, I was going to the UJ stadium, tying the chair behind me, going there and finding the security guards, and they were training me, you know? So one would stand at the gate and one would come down and help me into the chair, or they'll both help me into the chair, and they'd tell me how many times I must go around and go check around the field and come back and check on me. Sometimes they'll find me that I've fallen out of the chair because I have no stomach muscles. And that time, I'd lean back without knowing that I'm leaning back because I'm new to this. And I'd be lying there and the chair would be on top of me, and it was just...
She says she remembers her first professional race as a paraplegic vividly.
We drove to the competition, got there, got put into this hand cycle. The first 10K, I thought I was gonna die. Because everyone's going, and you know what? I was the last person to finish. And the organizers had already packed up, but they were waiting for me patiently. It was in Mayerton. I was exhausted. The uphills were too hard for me. The downhills were too fast. I'd freak out because I had an accident going downhill. Just an emotional roller coaster. At the same time, I was excited to finish. I was excited to get my first medal, and I was determined to go to my next race. So in that year, I took part about 25 races, thanks to 947 and Harvard Sports Promotion and Tensalo Group Properties. They all got together, pitched in to pay for me for the races, to pay for the driver to take me, to pay for the hand cycle, the kit, everything. I just need to train and show up.
DJ crossed ways with many Destiny helpers, including Mr. Twice Ngubeni.
And I had a driver every Thursday, Brapit, who unfortunately has passed away, would bring me here to Mildersdrift, and he'd train with me. I remember my first training session with Brapit. We were here at Mildersdrift, and we did our first downhill, and I stopped halfway through the downhill and started crying. Because I kept freaking out, thinking I'm going to flip, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to, you know. And he just unbuckled me out of the chair, lifted me out and put me in his lap, and he held me until I was done crying, and he said to me, for you to be here right now, it means you're strong. So don't be so hard on yourself. If you want to stop, stop. If you want to continue, continue. And I said I wanted to continue. I said, okay, let's do it slowly. You can press the brakes for as long as you want. And then first week, second, by third week, I was saying, Prapita, are you coming or not? You know, so it was a build-up.
Mr. Twice says he has learned many magical lessons from DJ.
Ebile mathomo da ne ke kopana le yena ngwana o a batlang ho hlokomela go ka about sport. Jwale and monna ntwa pele be le challenge. And se le ngona le tseba hore bana ba jwana ba kwatana kong. Ya ke khone hore no ke be le yena ko sport. Jwala mo Tshwane ke mo thuse ke ena ba ntshwana a mbontsha hore mo wa ntshwara mo a o ntshware ka mo thusa ka tsela eo. Even I'm so weaker than yena, o stronger than me. Even though ha re tsamaya re traina, nna ke a bona gore I can't mara yena wa gona. Nka gore mo nna ke motho o mongwe a encourageang bophelong le batho ba bangwe ba batlang go etsa sports wa gona gore ne yena a ba thusa ba bontshe gore no, sports said you can do it, re tloeleng without.
Cycling, wheelchair racing, track on Mr. Twice. We've been together for 5 years now.
Her friend Lerato says DJ's strength is like her own superpower.
I would say DJ is telling her story through her words and through her actions. Her writing is quite captivating. She's very good with using words. She's written on her blog about the day of the accident and afterwards, so she uses that a lot. And also through her actions, you know, being able to go back to work, go back to school full time, be a representative of South Africa through, you know, the sports. So those actions and the changes that she's done in her community, you know, advocating for visibility, making sure that, you know, the municipality, they adapt and they make roadways. So there's a lot that DJ has been doing, both physically and using her words and just being visible and continuing to have that strong voice, I think, yeah.
Consistent and aligning herself with positive people, she's grateful especially to Mr. Twice.
When I go to track, he's there at the track, following, sitting in the stadium, watching me train, you know. When I'm at competitions, he's there, following me behind with the car, cheering me on, telling me, go faster, you're doing okay, checking my water pipe, emptying my bladder bag. So he's there full time. So we're a team.
And she says her story should be marked as that of a strong female fighter.
You know the song by Gym Class, what's the group? Fighter. And it goes, there goes a fighter. I want, when people tell my story, they must know that I fought hard to get where I am. And I wouldn't have made it where I am without a whole lot of people. Some are strangers that I never met who sent emails without my knowing saying, you better support this child or tell a story about this child. And those people are constantly there with me, almost 24/7, Mr. Twice. He takes me to school, sometimes he drops me off at work when I'm running late because I went to school training and I have to go to work. He's there at competitions, you know, my lecturers. Yeah. So I'm people to say, you know, this person made it, but she didn't make it on her own. But also she's a fighter. She fought hard so that the next generation of black female paraplegics who take up sport have it easy. And that's my only wish. That there isn't a lot of complications, that they have equipment that they can access in South Africa, that there's competitions in South Africa that you can qualify for the Paralympics, that we host competitions that can develop kids in townships and rural areas. Nje.
Unbelievable. Once again, we are reminded of the power of the human spirit. Thank you, DJ, for demonstrating that nothing is impossible when we set our minds to it. Thank you at home for watching. Until next week, it's a goodbye from myself and the rest of the Stories Untold team.